I'm here with Andrew Brenner, and Andrew is a former Vincennes University student. He's a VU alum, and he's out. Where are you at now?
I'm in Redondo Beach right now.
Redondo Beach. Ugh, wow.
Saying the beach on the end has a nice ring to it.
It does. It does. It does. Okay. Well, and my purpose is, this is again. I love impromptu interviews and just chatting it up with people who I've had affiliations with through the university and just become friends, and they become my teachers, which is kind of fun to see that switch gears. As a total sidebar, Andrew was responsible for really enhancing my knowledge of Ableton Live and the Push 2 and taking my production values to a whole nother place. And I'm very thankful for that because I got a lot of cool side work because of the stuff you taught me. So there you go.
Nice, come on.
Right on. I'm grinding it every night, man. I'm always Ableton is almost always open. So
I
on the
love it.
machine in
I
the
love it.
back. So there you go. But anyway, so tell us a tell us a little bit about what it is currently, where you're at, what you're doing, and let's kind of go from there.
Okay, well, all right. So 2021, 2021, New Year's start. So I'm really working with the main people I'm working with is 1500 or Nothing.
Hmm.
They really started out, to give them a little background. They started out as a band. They started out as like Snoop Dogg's band touring when they were real young, and they've all kind of grown up and came together. It's like three, four, or five of them that really came together, and they created this group 1500 or Nothing, and they've really been killing the game. Like Rance just did his big song was "Boot Up." He just won the Grammy for that. James, he's like the songwriter of the group. He pretty much wrote all of Justin Timberlake's songs and all Bruno Mars. And then Brody, he's another person of the group. He plays a lot of the instruments, and he did like Bruno Mars' whole album. So it's kind of great to be able to like study under these people, because they're doing great things. So it kind of rubs off a little bit on me. I get to learn all like the top level secrets, just kind of
Right.
coming in.
Sure.
So yeah, I've been working with them since I moved out to LA for about 5 years now. So another thing that they've been doing that I've been working at is they actually just opened up a school out there. So it's called the 1500 Sound Academy, and I've been working with them on that. And it's really crazy. If you guys definitely look it up, 1500soundacademy.com. So it's like it's like a school. We got college accredited, but we have like sponsors from like Roland and like Fender. So we have a whole room decked out with like everything Roland, all the new Fender guitars. And the cool thing with having like Rance, him and James have the thing is they're really friends with the people that are like top tier. So they like be like tricking people into like teaching the class. So like they'll have like P Diddy will stop by to like show them or something like that, and he'll like sneakily have all the kids in there and just make P Diddy walk into like an interview where he like has to like teach them something and feels like obligated. So
That
it's really
that
crazy.
is that is magical.
Yeah, so just like really getting to work with them and stuff like that. Really, the main person I work with is Rance. He taught me everything I know about beats and all like that. So how you say I'm responsible for your push and like the Ableton knowledge, he's responsible for all my knowledge with that.
Nice.
Yeah, so he's my sensei for sure.
Absolutely. We all got to have somebody to kind of sit at our feet and show us the way.
Yeah,
And
it always
and
does.
yeah, and that's one kind of cool thing about, like I said, with our relationship is really fun, kind of funny because you came to Vincennes University, and I knew, you can kind of tell when students come in the door. It's like if they've got the X factor, whatever that is. And most of that comes down to, just a work ethic. You got, I mean, I see this in some students, not all. And sometimes I see it myself when I look in the mirror and I really just don't want to go. Um, but the desire to grind, to do it every day. Um, Tell me a little bit about how that has kind of pushed you along, so to speak. No pun intended.
Yeah. Definitely, the grind is everything for me. I don't know. I think it's all about me. Is just like my main thing that really pushed me and got me to excel on a whole nother level was just like knowing I could spend a whole day just to learn like one secret would be worth it to me. Just like one extra thing that could just elevate me to the next level compared to somebody else. Because we live in the day now age where anybody can be a producer. If you have internet connection and you can like buy software, you can make beats for anybody. It can happen like that. So I always had to like make sure I knew something that somebody else didn't know so I could be like one step ahead. And that was my real main purpose of it. It's just that extra little bit of knowledge that can take you just somewhere else where somebody goes, ooh, because that's a big factor if you're in the studio working with people is that ooh factor. If you can get an artist to say ooh and be interested just for like 1 second just to capture their attention, that could be thousands and thousands of dollars.
I hear you. I hear you. Um, what your background? Take it all the way back and kind of so I kind of can show people where you're coming from. What was your first experience in music? What drew you to music?
It was one of my friends. His name was, I'll give him a shout out, David Peterson. He actually was making beats on Machine like way back when I think it was like in 6th grade. And I came to his house and he had the whole setup. He had the speakers, the keyboard, the little beat pad and everything like that. And I'd always liked hip hop, and he played me the first like hip hop beat I ever heard, and it was just crazy. And I was like, what? And he let me like play around on his machine. And as soon as he like let me like touch something and start making noise, I was hooked.
You're like, this is what I want to do. I
Yes, I
think
was like,
everybody there's a I can't remember the book I was reading here not too long ago, but everybody has what you call an aha moment. And
yes,
sometimes that comes on the tail end of trials where you've gone through some crap and you go, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. But
yes,
but you have that aha moment when it's like, dude, this is why I was born.
yeah.
this
It
is
was.
this is this is maybe if not the definitive only reason, but definitely a huge part of who I am.
Oh yeah, I
And
remember my first beat I ever made, and I just thought it was just it. It was the one. Get Drake on the line right now. It's over.
right, right. Yeah, we all think that of our first one, and it's I'm so proud of this, It's just and
Mhm.
you know, okay, but so all right, so you start there, and that's junior high, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I started doing that, and then I really didn't make too many more beats after that. And then, I was still super into music. I would freestyle. I hate to admit it. I used to like rap back in the day. I think I was the man too on that.
Hmm.
And that's how it got me into audio engineering,
Mm.
really, because I would be recording myself off of Adobe Audition. And I would
Oh
just spend
boy,
hours like, tweaking little vocals and stuff like that.
oh boy, yeah.
Yeah, just to take it like way, way back. And then from there, it really was kind of around after I graduated high school. I was kind of unsure of really what I wanted to do with my life and stuff like that. And I was seeing people around me, like, like selling insurance or like coming a businessman and doing business management and stuff like that. And I knew that was a smart route to take at the beginning, but it just kind of made me sad. I didn't want to do that. I didn't feel like that was what my life was really planned for me. And then so I actually went to, before I went to Vincennes, I went to Ivy Tech, and I was going for business management. And I ended up, my dad actually got real sick, and he ended up passing away with cancer about 10 years ago. And then that was really the big like wake up moment for me of like, I really want to do something with my life and not just settle for like what's safe.
Mm.
And then it was after that for like a year, I saved up, and then I ended up going to Vincennes, and that's where we actually met to get my audio engineering degree. Because one of my friends, he told me that he got his, and he was been touring around, and he was setting up like live shows for people, and he was actually making decent money.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Like maybe I can get to the music side and like really actually just give it a shot. Because everyone used to tell me I was at least, I was decent. And I figured if I worked hard enough at anything, I could probably make something happen out of it.
Right.
So then that's when we met.
Right, and that and your life and mine was never the same.
Oh
So
yeah.
so you come to Vincennes and you're studying audio recording, and I believe life is everybody's on a trajectory. You know, some are going up, some are coming down, some are crashing. But but as you were coming up, what did audio school do for you?
It really gave me the confidence
Mm,
because a lot of it I like kind of had an idea of what I was doing,
mhm.
and then just kind of like figure out and like learning like the technical names for everything and stuff like that, so I didn't sound like a fool. That really gave me the
What's
confidence
that
of
little
like,
knob
okay,
there? Yeah.
I kind of know what I'm doing. I kind of know, okay, I know I liked this compressor when I did this and that. So now I know why I like it because of this and that. And I could tell somebody else, because communication was always key. And then I really learned how to like record, become a recording engineer
Mm,
over there because I had a lot more practice. There's actually kids on campus that I was making a little extra side money just going around to their houses and recording them.
right.
And then I would make extra because I had beats too. So if they needed a beat, I would sell them a beat like cheaper, little discounted price if you work with me. So it's like a full service.
Doing the entrepreneur thing.
Yes, that's what really the skill that really took me to the next level was learning that.
Right.
And then the one thing I really wish I would have went crazy on at school is for all the students watching. I know you guys hate going to piano class, but I
Oh
wish I
no.
would have paid more attention in piano.
Dr. Bossert will smile again. So
Yes,
so
definitely.
tell the story. Tell the story. Tell the story. Tell the story.
With her, I used to always skip the class, never wanted to go. I don't need piano. I can click stuff in. I can click stuff in. And literally my whole life out of here in LA, I've watched people come in and play the piano and play an instrument and continue to have their job and elevate to like a whole nother level. Like I could have had chances to play on so many records and been in a whole nother thing where instead of being 10 minutes from the beach, I would have went to the window and said, here, I'm on beachfront if I would have continued to play the piano. So I'm still practicing and I'm picking up the guitar too. So I just definitely want to put that out there. Instruments are the number one thing.
Yeah, and see, I don't want to paint with broad brushstrokes, but there is a thought process and a philosophy that says, why are you making me take? Because now we require, um, and I don't want to go too far down the road with the whole audio school thing, but to say that at VU we require you to take two applied instruments, so guitar or bass or drum set or vocal, something like
Yes,
that, to get the degree. And I have students go, why are you making me do this? It's like, because you're gonna need it.
exactly. And if you're just an engineer and you can't find the key to the beat that I played you, you're not getting hired. So
Right.
you need to know the piano.
Right. And so that's why, gosh, we're gonna make you take 2 semesters of keyboard, and that's why you're going to take a couple of semesters of guitar or bass or drum set or what or
Super
vocals,
important. Super important.
because it's necessary. Okay, so enough of that. Okay, so I don't want this to turn into a Vincennes University advertisement, but it is important to note that you here you are in the industry, and you're making some money, and you're doing okay, and you're healthy, and
Yep.
you're not laying side of the road somewhere in a box.
Nope. Nope.
No, and there's ways of doing things right, and
Yeah.
you did that. So um if you were talking to somebody, I mean, if you're in my shoes for a second, um and you're talking to somebody who is fresh out of high school, that sits down in the at the comfy couch, and says, I really want to be a producer, what would you tell them?
One, I have to go back to it. Learn a real instrument for sure. That takes you like there's so many people trying to do what we like do as like a producer that if you have like one thing above somebody else, you cut off so many people that you're better than that you're going to get the call for sure. So one, learning a real instrument takes you to a whole nother level. You got to know all your scales too, for sure. Know how to play in every key.
Hmm.
I would also say you can sit at home and you can send stuff, but relationships are everything.
Ah,
Because at the end of the day, if I'm friends with the artist, they're gonna pick my beat over yours, even if it's better. Because I'm friends with them. They remember Andrew that came through, and brought them food that day, or like, laughed at their jokes, or oh, he's a good guy, I really like him, stuff like that. That's key. That's the main reason why I'm out here in LA. Is because the relationships are everything.
well, you're a heck of a nice guy. You're not a jerk, and
Yep.
easy to get along with, a good conversationalist, and all those things. I mean, gosh, are so important. And I will say that I preached this on more than one occasion. It's like the music business is built upon the concept of relationships. All business, all commerce, everything is social, and it is built around relationships. And if you say, you can be an absolute guys that get to a certain plateau, can they be jerks? Absolutely. You've worked with them. I've worked with them.
Yep.
I mean, and,
But
and
they like you said it though. You said plateau wasn't important because usually when they become jerks, they plateau.
yeah. And at that point, they don't go any higher.
Hmm.
I'm, yeah, preach that.
Definitely.
I mean, it's getting a little bit too big for your trousers. Then you got to start cutting deals with Burger King. But anyway, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. I did go to McDonald's and get one of those meals though.
Nice, nice.
Just to support, got to maintain his lifestyle. Anyway, we all know who I'm talking about. But the thing is, I guess at the end of the day, you, those are two big things. Relationships are everything,
Yep.
and the first thing was
Playing
learn a
relationship.
legit instrument.
Yeah, that takes you to a whole another level. I struggle with it, so I was the first to admit it. I watch all the money walk away, and I hate myself for it.
Ugh, it's painful. It's
It is painful, but it's the greatest lesson of life, for me.
right because now
Totally.
that you've got some of those skill sets, now you're the,
Yeah,
so,
now I can actually start catching right back up. Be like, okay, sorry guys, I was behind for a second. I'm with you now.
so to give yourself some street cred, because I know there's somebody that's going to watch this and go, "Who's this clown?" You know,
Yes.
tell me who you've worked for and who you've got placements with, and can you
Okay,
drop some of those names? Because that's to some people they're like, oh man,
that's everything. Yeah. So my two placements that I've gotten this year, I was on Kodak Black's album with Trap Money Benny and Nova Wave, and then I was on Jack Harlow's album. It was 21C Delta with like a ton of people, like, too many to name. It was just one of those like add something on at the end, stuff like that. People I've worked with like Trippy Red. I've worked with Donny Osmond. I've worked with um, uh, I've worked with Nipsey Hussle. I've worked with Jay Stone. I think I'm on his next album. I was actually supposed to be on this recent album coming out, but he pushed me to the next one. I've had sessions with like Juicy J. Who else? Pretty much everybody. If like her, I've had sessions with her. Pretty much just going around with 1,500. Like I have access to everybody.
Hmm.
You just like any day, anybody can walk in.
Who was the first artist that walked in the studio while you were working that you almost went fangirl on?
Oh, it was definitely Jay Z. The first time I met Jay Z, I about went crazy, and the homie really brushed it off. He was like, "Oh, I got a friend that's about to roll through here." He just brushed it off, and when he walked in, I was going crazy. I was like, "Oh my god, this is real!" I couldn't believe it. I was like, "I've made it!" I called everybody that I knew.
Right, right, and
Oh
and
yeah, but I have another good one. Reese, the other one that was crazy was the first time I met Bruno Mars. We have a shake that we do, the 1,500 shake and stuff like that. And it was with my buddy Ranson James, and he walked in. I tried to do the shake with my buddy James, and he likes to mess with me a little bit. He was like, "Oh, you want to do the 1,500 shake and look cool in front of Bruno?" And it's just me, Bruno, and Rance sitting there. I was like, "Oh my god,
oh my gosh.
so funny."
So most of the people that you've met though that are, you know, in the business that you're working with and you're seeing, what are what would you say overarching is their personality type? Most of the people that you
Always, always nice. Always nice. There hasn't been a bad soul in there, really.
work with.
Anybody that has that much success is always really nice. The people that really like stink are the people that are like really close to being superstars, but they're just like right there. And they can't seem to break that threshold. But all the superstars are always super nice. I really haven't luckily ran into anybody that I was like, oh, that person is just awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of nice people, you know?
That's
Everyone really like, you know, nice, and a lot of them, they really know their stuff. You would think like a lot of them can outplay you on stuff, so you got to be careful. You know, like working with Justin Timberlake, you know, you come in and producing and stuff, play something wrong on the piano, he'll scoot you to the side and he'll play the part. He's good.
and see that's something that a lot of people are just again to bring back to your original point, learn a legit instrument.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the push to is not a legit instrument, but the everything that we do inside of a DAW
Hmm.
is based around something that came before it.
Exactly. What are you gonna do if all the power shuts off?
Oh boy.
Are we still making music, or are we just sitting there?
True story. True story. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what what do you see? I'm kind of going to prod this. The music industry requires that you grind.
Yes.
That you grind. You. I mean, okay. I used this analogy when I was talking to Nick Jost about. I said, I saw students come in, after Christmas break or after summer break, and legitimately like 200 level audio students. And you probably heard this question because you had my class. They sit down and say, "Okay, so tell me about what you did over break." And the blank stares come back at you,
Oh yeah.
and you're like, I'm like, what did you do? Did you record anybody? Did you produce anything? Did you write a song? Did you write a beat? Did you mix something? Did you pick up an instrument? What'd you do?
It's nothing.
And it's like, and my point of with them was like, look, I'm at now when I'm talking to, I'm 56 years old. I'm an old dude, and I've done this since I was 17 years old. I was a band geek when I was 11 years old. I played trumpet all the way through junior high and high school, and every day I was grinding.
Exactly.
Every day, thousands of hours, and I learned something new every day. And I'm always, where am I at right now? I'm in my studio. This is my man cave. This is where I come and I do the checkbook. I look on my, do stuff for my YouTube channel, and I write. And I'm working on like I got some stuff to do. I'm working doing podcast intros and exits music. Never thought I'd do that.
Exactly. There's always a little crevice you can find your way in if you're
Niche,
pushing.
niche markets, man. So and I do tons of movie work, and but the thing is that I don't understand not grinding. How you kind of alluded to it, but on average, when you're doing you, and I know I'm thankful that you carved out a moment in time for me. I'm
Oh,
so thankful that you could carve out some time for me because I know you're busy, and I value your time. But how when if you could put an hour length on how long, how often, how much, what does it look like?
it's a lot. It's really like just, well, in the morning I'll kind of relax and I'll kind of wait till like, 10, 11, and then I just really try to work until like, I'll try to work until 2 in the AM, 2 or 3 in the morning. But sometimes I gotta be nice because I have a girlfriend now, so I gotta make sure she has time to see me. I'm not neglecting her, so she's kind of nice to bring me back to reality a little bit on it. But it's definitely like any moment that I can. If I get inspired, while I'm cooking, I'll definitely open up the laptop and try to do something while I'm cooking. It's like I'll just be sneaking in stuff as much as I can, or I'm looking up on my phone of like looking through like people who are online and seeing who's at the studio who I can just text a beat to or something like that. So I feel like I'm never off. Like I dream about it. So it's like 24/7. I'll
Are,
dream about making beats and wake up and like try to like
okay,
capture that idea that I had like in my dream sometimes.
dude. It's like we're the same person. Anyway, I'm legit. You know, you're a creative. I remember this dream vividly. It happened again this week. You ever those recurring music dreams?
Oh, you just got to get that song out. It's the one.
Oh God, yeah. You know, I had a dream that I was conducting a piece that I'd written, and I heard it, and I looked down at the score in front of me, and I saw it, and the notes on the page. And I was like, God, I've never heard anything like this, man. And
That's
then,
the one.
and then I had to wake up, and I couldn't remember it for the life, man. Like, "Ugh." Yeah, but yeah, I'm like that. I have to get up. A lyric will come to me, you know. I have to write it down. Yeah,
Oh man, I do that all the time. Other people give the best lyrics. It's a game that we have all the time. Is if you can catch another person saying like a song title or something like that that like goes, that's a perfect song.
right,
That's the best.
right. Be, how important is who you surround yourself with?
Oh, that's the most important thing personally for me. I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for who I surrounded myself with. Any placement that I've got, I can link it back to making this decision being around this person. Definitely, like the reason I got the Kodak placement was because my friend Trap Money Benny, he famously did the that Kiki song with Drake. I taught him Ableton before he did that song. That was his first Ableton placement. So me and him had worked for a long time ago, and that beat was actually 3-4 years ago.
Mm.
And the reason, like, I actually even got to play on it was he had a session to make something with these chicks called Nova Wave, super fire. If you gotta look them up, it's a duo producer. One girl, she makes beats on Ableton, engineers, and the other girl's the songwriter. They like do stuff for like Beyonce. They're going crazy. Like DJ Khaled, they're wild. So they did that, and just me still showing people stuff. Like I showed her a couple Ableton tricks, and she told me, she's like, "Oh, open up your laptop, add to this beat." That's the reason I'm on that song. Is just by knowing people. Then same with Jack Harlow. The reason I was on the Jack Harlow song was because Rance was he actually had this beat and he put it off. He kept putting it off. He didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm about to start it. So I started and I put a whole bunch of stuff on there. And he came in and he heard it. He's like, yo, this is cool. I like it. He added one or two more things and we sent it off. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, he's like, yo, send me your info. So it's definitely all about who you know. That means everything.
And who you know, and then you know, you mentioned, you know, of course, you got the girl, you know, kind of keeping you grounded, and you need people like that in your life that keep you grounded. You know, it's not grounding you, you know, keeping you from, you know, Cheryl and I talk about this a lot. Um, that you know, I've been more productive, more prolific. Um, since 2012 than before, and I was really on fire, you know, before that.
Yes.
So being with somebody who's a positive influence and gives you that little extra boost in your life,
They
you know,
inspire you. Yeah.
yeah, they inspire you, and they throw you some air, you know, to
Hmm.
and have you seen people that have surrounded themselves with the wrong people
Oh
and
yeah.
and
All the time.
not necessarily that business, you know, because we've talked music business is about relationships, but you know, they surround themselves with all the wrong people, and
Oh yeah.
it hurts them,
Definitely.
and you've seen that.
Yeah, because it's like you always got to, if you want to be surround yourself with people, like Snoop Dogg actually like did this one thing. If I can like try to remember exactly what he said, but he's talking about like the elevating thing. If you're right here and you hang out with people right here or up here, you're gonna come to them or meet somewhere kind of in the middle. But if you're up here, you're hanging out with people down here. The only way you can relate to them is you come down to their level because they're not able to come up to where you're at right now. So if you keep surrounding yourself with people that are down here when you're up here, you're just going to drag yourself down. So you always got to be like, I always try to hang out with people that are way better than me. if you're my friend, you're killing it. Like
Right.
really, I want to hang out with you. There's something about you that I feel like you can teach me something.
Right. And that's not just music, that's life stuff, right?
Yeah, that's just everything life in general, really. I have like thousands of mentors. Always there's something that I have a reason why people hang out with them because there's always something they can teach me to take me to another level.
Legit. Yeah. That's good word. That's good word. There's always I never feel like you know it all because
Yeah,
that's when you're done.
yeah, you're the dumbest man in the room the minute you think you know it all.
At that point, just go sell insurance.
Exactly.
No offense to insurance salesmen, because I know
Yeah, no
quite a
offense
few
to
that are
that.
good
Yeah,
dudes, but
my agent's gonna call me. I saw that interview.
same. Yeah. Dude, are you calling me dumb? No, man. Just not unmotivated, but just not my
Yep.
thing. Um, so parting shots. I'm gonna ask you a round robin here, okay? So
Sure.
I'm gonna ask you a question about this is production, and this could get techie
Let's get techie.
if you want to. If you want to go there, that's okay. I'm moving around my stuff on the table here, getting ready. This could be a who, okay, or it could be a technical thing. Okay,
Okay.
so best hi hats.
Best hi hats. Ooh, Geist two. Geist two by F Expansion. Best hi hats.
And they are a sample company.
It's almost like a doll.
Oh,
It just like all the extra tricks that you can do are crazy. Secret. That's how Timbaland does his drums. He does all his drums through Geist.
okay. So hi hats. Who
Yes,
has the
Geist.
best hi hats? Not a DAW, not a plug-in.
Who has the best hi hats?
Production wise, who's got the best hats?
Uh, man, I
Because
would probably say I'd go back to Timbaland. He's just his stuff. Every time I listen to him, he's just crazy. The way his brain moves.
okay, best snare.
Best snare. Who's got the
I mean,
best?
these are basic things that anybody in hip hop R&B is going to go. You gotta have.
Man, two people that have really. I know you might ask me next kick, but the two of my favorite kick and snare combo people right now are Bongo, by the way, and Swift D.
Bongo,
What
by the way.
and Swift D? I'll say it right now. I have to play beats after them all the time in the studio because they're friends, and I hate it because they're knocking like crazy. It's just like, oh, it has me up late at night thinking what they're doing. They're, they're out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I kind of joke about Scott Mercer, who we both know.
Hmm.
And I can play guitar, man. I can play guitar. Tom around Scott.
Yeah, and then it's just like,
And I'm just like, I should just be selling this on eBay because I can't play. I keep buying new guitars and, I think, this is going to make me better. It really just doesn't.
the guy played at the store. It sounded great, but when I took it home, it didn't sound so good.
There it is. There it is. All right. And this is, the triune godhead of hip hop. What's who has or what makes the best kick sound?
Best kick sound, man. Okay, so first I'll say Swift has one of my favorite kicks. He has this kick I use it all the time. Swifty, shout out to him again. Um, my new thing is I hate to say it, Fruity Loops with the boost on there.
Oh yeah.
I've been kind of doing my drums in Fruity Loops. I've just been, I've been peeking.
Confession is good for the soul.
Yes, I've been peeking. I know all my friends are gonna hate it. That and then Black Box,
What?
Plug-in Alliance, Black Box.
Okay.
That's a good one. And then, dang, what else? Oh, tuning your kicks to up and down. This is, well, I'll say another secret. So if your 808 is going up high, I tune my kick up higher. If my 808's lower, I'll tune my kick a little bit lower.
Hmm.
Kind of matching the key with the key.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll even do the same kick pattern as my 808, and sometimes it comes out really nice.
Right. Okay. There are guys that have go out of their way to harken back, and I've said this. I actually said this before, and I'll say it probably a million times. If you go back, if you look back in the old Motown music, and I'm
Hmm.
an old guy, so I can say things like this. The kick didn't sound like a kick, when during certain genres of music, which the kick was a sound. It had a
Yeah.
sound. It was a transient with some bottom, but it didn't really have a sound. I mean, it didn't have a tone. But you go back and listen to those old Motown albums, it's like the kick drum had a pitch,
Yes. It's
and
important.
it sounded like, and I don't know if they did it on purpose or if it just happened, but it always seemed like, if you listen to like Can't Hurry Love, listen to Can't Hurry Love, listen to the bass part and listen to the kick part. And it's like the kick drum is in the same tonal range and has a pitch, just like the bass guitar.
Super important that they meld together.
Right. And the two became one. And it's just, and I think there's a lot to that. And the old thing, I guess I'm saying all that to say this. You're saying stuff about this is how we do things now, but that's the way that came before. And that's why you learn a legit instrument, even if you use a DAW. You learn music theory because why? Because you'll use it. And you tune your kick to the
Oh yeah.
pitch of the song, the tonal gravitational center of the song because it works.
Yeah. I do kick, snare, and hi hats, and sometimes the percussion. I tune them all if I can.
Right. And, okay. Well, that's crazy. Okay. Good. Well, that's good word.
One more thing is levels. Everyone always just tries to compress crazy amounts on the kick, but if you just have the kick at a way higher level than everything else not clipping, it's gonna knock.
Just make the kick the center of everything.
Yeah, just
I mean,
make
that's why the boys in the pickup trucks buy the big boxes.
exactly.
I got a 16-year-old son who's, he's a huge hip hop fan, rap, and man, he's always, man. I can tell when he rolls into the Tahoe, man. It's banging.
Oh yeah, I was that kid too. I was that kid
Right.
too.
Well, I was too, but it was metal and it's just yeah, those drums without tone, just lots of click. Um. Okay, so I really, I don't want to cut this short, but at the same time, I do want to respect your time.
I'm
Um,
good.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to sit down with me, and I really would like to, maybe sometime in the future, maybe continue this on and talk about some other things.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Um, but anyway, so um, where on the internet, our mother of ones and zeros, where can our holy mother of one and zeros, where can we find your stuff? Where can we find you?
My music,
Yes, please.
you can find my music on Apple. I've always wanted somebody to ask me this so I can say this. So you kind of made my day here. You can find me on Apple, Tidal, Spotify, and all streaming music platforms.
Right.
If
Well,
you just look up the Kodak Black song and the Jack Harlow, because everything else you really have to find me in person.
well, what I would love for you to do when we hang up here, I'll hit the stop button, but send me some links so I can include them in the description on the YouTube. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
That way, just whoever's watching this, you know, Andrew's going to send me some links, and I'll include it in the description, so you can
Yep.
go out and see where his stuff's at. Because I want them to be able to hear what you do.
Yeah.
What you say is one thing, but when we put your face with what they're hearing, then they'll go, "Yeah, that." Okay, cool. Well, Andrew, man, you know, I miss you. I wish I'd seen you when you were back here, but I dig what you're going. I wish you health, well being, happiness, and I can see it on you, man. You're a happy dude, man. And I'm very thankful for our friendship and for the
Yeah.
time that I got to spend with you as a student. And I'm speaking of me as your student because that was great too. So I'm gonna hit stop on this record, and many blessings to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.